Okay, hello, Mr. Andy. Today I will present the Anthroposphere flashcard. I hope you will enjoy my presentation. The first ratio that I have in this flashcard is the sex ratio. So the sex ratio is the number of males to females in a certain population. For example, L, but first, L represents male or lalaki. P, perempuan, represents female, multiplied by 100, which is a constant. For example, the number of male and female students in 11th tertiary. So, for example, there is 9 male and 7 female, which means that in every 100 women, there are 128.57 men. Okay. Dependency ratio. So, dependency ratio is the number of people aged 0 to 14 plus the number of people aged 65 and above divided by total number of people aged between 15 to 64 multiplied by 100, the constant. So the dependency ratio is the percentage of children and those over 64 years old compared to the people who are not working age, who are of working age. So the children and people over 64 years old are seen as unproductive and therefore are dependent to the working age people. So as mentioned again, the formula is here. An example will be in a country, there are 250 unproductive people, while there are 500 productive people. So it means that the dependency ratio is 50%. Right. Next formula is the natural population growth, N minus M. So natural population growth is the growth of population without calculating the amount of immigration or emigration rate. The formula is natality, which is birth, minus by mortality, death. For example, the amount of birth in the city is 12,000, while there are 200 mortalities in 2,000 deaths. What is the natural population growth of the city? When you minus the total population with if you minus the total birth with the total mortality, you'll get 11,800. So the natural population growth of the city is 11,800 at 2010. The total population growth. So this is similar to the natural population growth, but we also include immigration and emigration. So again, the formula is natality minus by mortality plus immigration minus emigration. Immigration means that you go in to the city. Well, if you emigrate, then you get out of the city. So for example, here, the number of natality is 120,000 in North Ireland. On 2012, there were 10,000 mortalities. The number of immigration is 1,000, while emigration is 500. So the total population growth of North Ireland is 109,500. The crude birth rate. So the crude birth rate means that it is a number of live births in which the baby showed signs of life, such as breathing, moving, making sound, and etc. So the baby managed to live. Formula is the number of live birth divided by total number of population multiplied by 1,000. The number of live birth again is the baby who lives, who shows signs of life. For example, here, number of birth is 12,000 in Serpong at 2002. There are 11,800 live births in a population of 1 million people. What is the crude birth rate of Serpong in 2002? So you just need to divide 11,800, the amount of live birth, with 1 million and multiply it by 1,000. So you will get the result of 11.8 per 1,000 people. Crude death rate. Now, the formula is quite similar to the crude birth rate, but the crude death rate means that it is a number of deaths in which the person shows unliving characteristics such as no breath, no heartbeat, no movement, and etc. So it's the number of deaths divided by total number of population multiplied by 1,000. The example is the number of deaths in the US at 2010 is 2.468.345 million people. The total population is 309 million people. What is the crude death rate of the US in 2010? So you just need to divide it, multiply it by a constant, and you'll get that there are 7.99 people per 1,000 people that dies. Right. Population pyramid. So the population pyramid reflects the population growth in a certain country. You have expanding, in which there are more younger generation. You have constructive, and you have stationary. Pronatality. So pronatality. So pronatality means that you are supporting birth. So it is a practice relating in which people are encouraged to have babies. Now, the factors that can contribute to pronatality are early marriage, more children, more blessing talk. So it is an idea that if you have more children, you'll get more money, wanting to continue their bloodline. In Asian and, for example, in Asian society, as a Chinese Indonesian, I learned that in order for the surname of my family to be passed on, we need to have a boy to pass it down. Right, antinatality. So it is a negative view on having children. It's the opposite with pronatality, in which you are encouraged to have children. So the factors are family program, desire to pursue a career. So for example, if the woman wants to pursue a career, she'll put off marriage. Pro-mortality, so the factors that contributes to that. The factors are war, disease, bad health facilities, and many more. Anti-mortality, factors that decrease mortality. This could be peace, disaster mitigation, or minimizing the disaster effect. This could be done by building, for example, building strong proof buildings. You could also have healthy lifestyles and advanced medical field to decrease the mortality rate. Population density. So it is the ratio of the number of population and its area. So it is divided into two. Arithmetic density, in which the average density of a population living in a 1 kilometer square area. The formula is number of population. So the population total population living in a certain area divided by area where they're living at, kilometer square. Agricultural population density is the average density of population working in land farming areas. So to get it, you just need to divide the number of farmers with their area of farming land farming, and multiply that. Land farming kilometer square. Okay. The demography in Indonesia. The demography in Indonesia tends to increase, and there are more population in the young age group. So it is, young age group is people that are less than 15 years old, and the population distribution is uniform, which is evident if you look at the number of population living in Papua and in Java. You can see that there is a huge gap of population distribution. So if we conclude, Indonesia is in a population pyramid is expensive. So demography aspects. There are two demography aspects. It's the quantity and quality. Population quantity. Population quantity focuses on decreasing population growth by using contraceptives and family planning program. So why do we need family planning program? Firstly is to increase mother and children's health. If the mother keeps on having babies, what happens is that they will have less strength in terms of physique. Now this could also impact the children's health, because the mother can take care of all of her children and to ensure that they have a healthy lifestyle. Secondly, is they are able to take care of their children properly. The more children you have, the more money you need to spend. Now, not all families are able to afford education for example, 12 kids, and this needs to be mitigated. 3 is by giving women the opportunity to develop their potential. So this could be in the form of career in which women now can become executives in a company and work where they want to. Secondly is the population quality. So the population quality is an ability people to have to support their life. And it is divided into 2. So this is the main determinants of the population quality. Education and health, which we will be discussing separately. Education. So education is still low in Indonesia due to following factors. Firstly, the cost of education is relatively high. Low income. Many people are not aware that education is important, which is evident by the fact that many population in Indonesia still practices early marriage. And 4, the education facilities are limited. To improve the education, there are several programs currently implemented by the government. So implementing the 12-year study, so it is mandatory for each Indonesian citizens to study up until high school, giving scholarships for poor and extraordinary students, improving education facilities and providing study package. A is to graduate elementary, B is to graduate middle school, and C to graduate senior high school. Healthcare. Health is measured by 2 factors, infant mortality rate and life expectancy rate. To increase healthcare quality, firstly, you must improve the quality of family nutrition. So each family of Indonesia must eat properly and healthily. Secondly is to improve the quantity and quality of healthcare services. It needs to be distributed across Indonesia. And thirdly is improving the quality of environment. For example, by reducing car emission and protecting the environment generally. And there are more solutions that we could implement to increase the healthcare quality. Now, population redistribution. So population redistribution is the action to uniform the population in each place. What this means is that from a populated area, densely populated area, the government or even the person himself will relocate to areas that have less population in it. Now, usually transmigration is employed to do this. So, what is transmigration? Again, is the moving of people from densely populated area to less populated area. The purpose is uniforming the population distribution, improving the people's welfare. People that can't afford houses in big cities have the chance to own land up to 2 hectares provided by the government, now which is very beneficial. Increasing production by exploitation of resources. Now each area could be exploited because there are people living there. Reducing the number of jobless and improving national security. Because when you're hungry, when you don't have money, what happens is that there is a tendency to commit crimes, and therefore the government mitigates it by introducing the transmigration program. Right, types of transmigration. Types of transmigration. General transmigration. It's paid by the government. For 18 months, the family that are transmigrated by the government will rely or will be supported by the government. The government will provide food and other kinds of necessities for 18 months. Spontaneous transmigration. So it is a transmigration on the will of the person itself and is paid by him. So the fund comes from him or her. Bedol desa. Everyone in the village leaves to a new area. Sectoral transmigration, intra-department, and local transmigration. So they still relocate within, for example, a certain profits. That is my presentation, Mr. Andi. I hope I am able to give strong and good presentation to make the topic clear. Thank you for watching my video.